Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, see, folks, sampler review series videos I would do for Luana. I go over there, trap food and drink items. I eat stuff and drink stuff, and folks, I'm gonna talk about stuff. I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. This particular item makes me go over there and remember a Will Smith song from back in like the fucking either late 90s or early 2000s. But anyway, we'll get to that. Folks, super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm inside the truck. Whilst I'm inside the truck, I'm wearing grody work clothes. Typically, when those two things coincide, that means that I was on my way home from work. I found some shit to review for you. That is not the case today. This is an item that has been in my fridge for probably a couple months now. And actually has a little bit of an interesting backstory because originally I found this particular item when I was trekking out. I was going to visit my mom, and I had to stop off at a gas station to grab her a couple things anyway. And they had this item. We'll get to it. They had it there on the shelf, and I was like, oh, cool. I've never seen that before. That'll be cool to review. So I went over there, I picked it up, brought it to the counter. Guy goes over there, scans it won't scan. And he tries a couple times. He's like, oh, that's right. Yeah, no, we're not. These won't scan. We're not even carrying these anymore. And in my head, it was like, well, no, clearly you are because there's a bunch of them in your freezer. Obviously, I didn't say it because I didn't want to be jackass, but I was like, they're in your freezer. And he's like, no, I know, dude. It's like, we're going to be sending them back to the thing. They shouldn't even be out there, blah, 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 blah. All right. So I'm like, okay, but like, I still want a thing. He's like, all right, well, like, here's what we'll do. Just go grab a Monster, right? Okay. So I grabbed a Monster. I grabbed, like, the Ultra Gold one because I like those because they're pineapple. Scan it. Pay for it. He hands me the Monster. And I was like, no, I wanted the other thing. And he's like, no, like, you bought the Monster. And I'm like, no, I got that. I assumed that what we were doing was that I was buying the Monster, and then you just give me that. I figured that was what we were doing, because I worked retail for a long time, and we would do things like that in the business, as it were. And he's like, no, I can't really sell this to you. So I just left with my fucking Monster. And then, like, literally a day later, I ran into this at a Walmart. What the fuck is it? What am I talking about? Boom! It's Bucked Up Energy Miami flavor. Miami. That was like a thing from Will Smith, right? With the thing, didn't he have a song about Miami? Or Florida? Am I thinking about Pitbull? Pitbull does a lot of stuff about Florida, right? I don't know. I don't listen to Pitbull. I just know the memes. So, okay. It's Bucked Up Energy. It's an energy drink. Again, it's Miami flavored, which is interesting, because typically I don't think of a particular city as having a flavor. I mean, I'm close to Chicago. I guess you could go over there and grind up Italian beef, some deep dish pizza, and, maybe a Chicago-style hot dog. That'd be our flavor. Make an energy drink of that. Oh, yeah. Bucked Up Energy. Chicago style. So I don't know what the fuck to think about this, but I am going to drink it anyway. So, it's 0 sugar. It's apparently 300 milligrams of caffeine. Let's give it a go. Open. I don't have fingernails. I bite my fingernails. I'm a bad person. Smells maybe like berry and citrusy. Well, it's good. I like the flavor. It's sweet and then a little bit tart. Reminds me a little bit of Sweet Tarts, if I'm honest. And I actually did a review. What was it? I don't even remember what it was, but I did a Sweet Tart flavored energy drink. Was it Ghost? No, Ghost wouldn't do Sweet Tarts. Rise. R-Y-S-E, I think it was. They had a Sweet Tarts flavored one. Yeah, it's kind of a Like, the sweet part of it almost reminds me of, like, a berry bubblegum kind of flavor. Like, a mix between those, where it's like, it's got sort of like it has sort of like a fruity berry kind of flavor, but then it also has, like, this, like, sort of added sweetness to it. And it's interesting because, like, the first part of it, like, the first hit is, like, that berry flavor. Then, immediately afterwards, like, almost immediately afterwards, you get, like, this very sort of sweet flavor to it. And again, that's kind of where the bubblegum aspect kind of reminds me of. Then, after that, that starts to die down, and that's when you get the tartness. So you get this, like, sort of, this experience of flavors as it goes along. And it's kind of cool because, as I mentioned plenty of times, I like contrasting flavors. I'm a big fan. And this has that because it has the sweetness and the tartness. And when that's just a great combination. But the thing is, needs to be balanced properly. And, it's going to vary from person to person what they like. I like some tartness. I don't like a lot of tartness. But if it's used appropriately, it can be a nice little, almost like a palate cleanser, to kind of break up the sweetness. Does this achieve that? Not in its entirety, but to an extent. I would say it's maybe a little bit tartar than I'm partial to, but not by much. Like, it's not making me pucker or anything like that. Excuse me. And I would say, compared to the level of sweetness, because it's not sickeningly sweet, but it's definitely a sweet beverage. It is a nice breakaway from that. I just maybe, like, 5% less on the tartness, I think would have done it for me. I think that would have been, like, the perfect balance just for my palate. But it is good. I do really like it. I have no idea. Is that what Miami tastes like? Like, if I go to Miami and I just start, like, licking the buildings and the floor and stuff, and I would say the people, but that would just get me arrested. I would imagine that there's no particular laws against licking buildings and, like, the street and stuff. I mean, I guess if it's private property, you could be trespassing, but, like, I think worst case scenario, you'd probably just maybe end up getting locked up in the nut house. Maybe? I don't know. It's fucking Florida, so you never know what the hell's going to go on there. Maybe they're going to go over there and they're going to toss me in some sort of a fucking Mad Max situation and be like, you have to play basketball against the alligators. And be like, oh, the Florida team? No, actual fucking alligators. Ha 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 ha. Which, to be fair, probably wouldn't be that hard. I can't imagine alligators being very good at basketball. Like, I'm not great. I'm well out of my prime, but, I was pretty good at defense back in the day. I'm not going to defend an alligator, though. I mean, I might defend its right to be an alligator, but that nonsense aside, I'm in a wacky mood today. I like that. I do. But I'll say this. 2 questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Yes, sort of. Yes, sort of. Here's the thing. I like the flavor of it. It's interesting. It has contrast. And it's not too far off from what would make me really like it. As is, I just like it. So I could see myself getting it again. But that said, it is a little bit too sweet. It is a little bit too tart. It's a little bit much. It's not something that I could see grabbing, definitely not on the regular, but even as one more kind of like off to the side of the ones I get on the regular, this would be like far off to the side. I could see getting this one like every now and again, but I could still see getting it again. As for recommending it, it's good. And I'm sure that there's people that it probably works perfectly for. Maybe the fine people of Miami. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe it's because I'm not from Miami. I just don't understand with my simple Midwest flavors and stuff like that. Being, originally from Chicago and stuff. Maybe I just don't have the Miami palate. I don't know. But, I would say, if nothing else, give it a try, because, like, it is interesting and it's not a bad drink. One thing I didn't mention, the zero sugar aspect. It's there, but it doesn't intrude on anything, so it's good. I like it. This is actually a second Bucked Up Energy review I'm doing in a row, because I did the Blood Raz, and I proclaimed that this was my favorite of the flavors that I've had of Bucked Up Energy. That is still the case. This one definitely didn't dethrone it, but it's still good. Anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. You can go over there and have yourselves a truly 1990s and early 2000s Will Smith rest of your life. Because, I mean, yes, there was the whole thing with Chris Rock and his wife and all this stuff and the crying meme and everything. But, like, we have to think back to a simpler Will Smith time, okay? Back when he was putting out not that great rap albums, but, but he was good movies. He was in Men in Black. Men in Black was great. The Pursuit of Happiness, like, got to play a great dramatic role. He did After Earth. That was a film. I never watched it. I've not heard good things. Man, you know what? Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm planning to hopefully get together with some friends this weekend. Maybe we'll watch some After Earth. Pretty sure even Netflix would just be like, really? Okay. Whatever, dude. But anyway, final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity in the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you do if you can't do all the time, I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me, man. Life can be stressful and frustrating, and, today in particular, the day that I'm doing this, this is a little bit of a rough day for me, just for, personal reasons and stuff like that. And it's not going to get any easier the next few days. I've got some emotional stuff around this particular time. I won't go into, but it's a very emotional period in my life, this little stretch of time. And, things can be really frustrating and stressful in the world. And especially if you've got stuff, kind of billowing up from inside. It is important, though, when we run into these types of situations. Take a step back. Try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives. Hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks. Do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, maybe you're going to go over there. You know what? Whatever you personally are dealing with, because we're all dealing with something, folks. That just is the way that we are, right? It's just day-to-day life. Whatever you're dealing with in your life, I really hope that you're able to go over there, and don't just fucking take my, just do what you need to do, as long as it's positive and productive. And you know what? Doesn't even have to be productive. Doesn't even have to be positive, realistically. Deal with it how you need to deal with it. That's what I'm trying to get at, because we all go through shit, and, we all have our own ways of trying to mitigate it, and try to, contain it in a way that it doesn't destroy us, basically. So, go ahead and do that for yourself, because we all need that. Anyway, folks, that's going to do it for me. Bye.